Hey, it's me, Steve. I'm driving up to the UP for Thanksgiving today, and I just thought I'd get in a Geo-rant or two here. I've been thinking a lot about mass extinctions, and most of us know about the 5 that occurred in the Paleozoic, the past 500 million years or so, but there seems to be a couple of others that are older than that. Of course, they only affected microscopic life, since that's all that there was, but it's just kind of interesting because there's 2 places. One is kind of obvious in the fossil record. That's at about 1.85 billion years ago, which I'll get back to. But first I'm going to address another one. These are just some observations I've made while trolling around the UP, trying to redefine the Copper Harbor conglomerate, the Jacobsville Formation, and the Frida. Okay, now at about the Copper Harbor deposits, the lowest sedimentary unit in the mid-continental rift. It does have a couple lava flows in it, which have been dated at 1.087 billion years old. So the Copper Harbor probably finished deposition around 1.085 billion years ago. Now, the thing with the Copper Harbor is it's all alluvial fan and fluvial stream deposits, terrestrial deposits. There are some small lake beds, lenses that exist within the formation in the upper half. These contain stromatolites, freshwater stromatolites in them. Stromatolites need shallow ponds of water in order to grow. We don't presently have any freshwater stromatolites on Earth. They're gone, but we do have some marine ones still. But the thing is, interesting about that is these stromatolites are mostly, like I said, in the upper half. But the overlying formation, which is called the Nonsuch Shale, is deep lacustral or lake deposits. That doesn't contain any stromatolites that I'm aware of or I've ever observed. There are some carbonaceous units in there, but no stromatolites, which kind of makes sense since it's deep lake deposits. Like I said, stromatolites need shallow lake deposits in order to grow. But the overlying formation, the Frida Formation, which is mostly fluvial river sandstones, contains in about the middle part, through the middle of the Upper Peninsula into Wisconsin, some shallow lacustral deposits. There's silts and shales in about the middle of the formation. These should have been ideal for growing stromatolites, but they're not there. Okay, now during this time, plate tectonics was working and the continents were moving, but between the deposition of the Copper Harbor and the Frida, at about the same latitude, not much has changed. The climate was right. They should have been there, but they're not there. So that makes me wonder if there was a mass extinction at about 1.085 billion years ago. I don't know what could have done this. There's no evidence of any impacts in that interval or anything like that. Volcanism, at least in the mid-continental rift, had ceased, and actually the stromatolites are in the Copper Harbor, which does contain volcanic units, so they were thriving then. Okay, so there's it's just one of those weird things where you just see this massive extinction, and that may be the line where freshwater stromatolites are gone. I don't know. Now, there's a second one I referred to at 1.85 billion years ago. This is during the Paleoproterozoic. The Copper Harbor was deposited during the Mesoproterozoic. But the 1.85 extinction event is marked pretty well by the Sudbury Impact, a huge impact crater in Ontario that dwarfs the one that killed the dinosaurs. Some things happened after this. Stromatolites seem to have been fine to a degree. They from about 1.85 to about 1.5 billion years ago, they do taper off, but they're still there. But what does almost totally disappear at this time are banded iron formations. Now, banded iron formations probably stopped for several reasons. abandoned iron formations are the only sedimentary rocks Earth no longer produces. The youngest known one is 800 million years old. Okay, but between 800 million years and 1.85 billion years, they're scattered, they're thin, they're almost non-existent. Now, there's several reasons why this may have happened. Obviously, the Sudbury Impact had a huge influence on this, but it's definitely an extinction level event. So we've got two Precambrian ones, well, one for sure, and a second one that still is kind of like, what did this? I plan on making some more observations when I finish my work on the Frida, and maybe a paper will come out of it, but we'll see. But those are just some geo rants while driving.